tuning into another chart mastery. Probably gonna repeat myself one more time. Thank you for tuning into another chart mastery stream. I'm gonna do the usual. If you guys have been tuning into our 3 times a week streams, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is gonna be the typical. I'm gonna pick up where I left off on a lot of charts. Right, we covered quite a bit, and starting off with BTC. During last stream on Wednesday, the market was selling off, right? And I had this chart pulled up. I'm going to remove this most recent fib just now, right? We had this chart pulled up, and we saw this latest rejection at the 50% bearish retracement, right? Which is right here, and I'll draw that in a second. And we saw the sell-off in the first few minutes of that stream. We're talking about BTC and the possibilities and what can we expect from it, and where are some good buying levels for that dip, right? Now, let's go in a smaller interval time frame and highlight that 50% bearish retracement, right? So what we saw was the market sell off down to 59 and then retrace back 50% to 63 and then a continuation down. And I had highlighted some possible turning points, right? Where are we going to find support? And the very first one was this 61.8 retracement. Right, and on the 4-hour, it wasn't looking too promising, right? Especially initially, because we weren't seeing good wicks at the 61.8. It looked shaky. It looked really shaky over here, just because of the closes and the wicks. We didn't see quite much rejection. But then after the initial breakup, right, and then we had a retest, and I talk about wicks, how they signify price rejection, right? And all we saw at the 61.8. was massive wick, right? So that tells us that that was support, right? My initial support level was at 58,900, and it held up. It held up well. What's next, right? What else can we expect from BTC? Where is the next possible 61.8 bearish retracement, and what's the next bullish target? So, at this point, what I'd like to do is look at the larger swing in development, right? And I think most ideally, and I talked about this last stream about the possibility of going back up for a 61.8, which would right now be a 63,485, right? So it looks like we're gonna test that, right? This open looks pretty good above the 50, and once we test that, we should get for clearer direction, right? If you go up here and touch this fib and come back down, right, the last high, that's not going to be good for BTC. But conversely, if the opposite happens and we go up here and we find support, right, then we should be looking for a continuation type move. Indices are back in risk on, right? Like indices, stocks, markets look like they're back in a risk on scenario. So what would be my next targets if you get that bullish continuation of 63K? The next targets off that are going to be, they're basically up on the chart. I think 69,442 is very much valid. And the following one would be, I'm just refreshing one of the stream views. You guys on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Hey, Delilah. You guys on TradingView, thank you for tuning in. All right, now we're going to continue. So, the next targets, they're on the chart. I think 69,442 is possible on this breakout. And then, 74,834, right? Like these would be my next 2 bullish targets for BTC. And these extensions have held up, right? They've held up to the test of time. And if you guys remember before the Elon tweet, before the correction, right? If you guys in Discord, we shorted this bearish retracement, right? For this leg down after the initial rejection. It was a nice 61.8. So we want to see a move above the 61.8 so we don't get caught in another downward move. Yeah, and I highlighted where that 61.8 would be. All right. I think that about covers BTC. Somebody asked me about Litecoin. I said, hey, like I have a big LTC position, and my stop is fairly close. If we break below support from Wednesday, then I'd want to get out, right? And it wasn't at 140s. And the chart's holding up. It was like 170, right? And the chart's holding up. We could probably see continuation here. Let's see what's going on now. Is this a 61.8 or is this we're above, right? We're above it, so it looks good on this move. Next, we need to get above 198, above 200. There's also this like larger fib extension that I have drawn. I could stretch it out a little. Let's do that. I'm going to clean up this chart. 194, 195 needs to hold this support. We need to see a clear move off of it, right? Because, I mean, these fibs have held up. That's where the last rejection was before the move down. Yeah, we want to see this play out in favor of bulls, right? Especially if markets are back in risk on. I'm just going to squish this out a little. Give us a better indication of what's happening now in real time. And ideally, if we get that push, we should see 219. In terms of the larger 61.8, yeah, so 200, 219, need to get that close above 200, and then we can see 219 and possibly a bigger move up to the following 61.8. If you guys have questions on these charts, thanks, Stanley. I'm trying to keep them coming, man. I love you guys' energy in these streams. I like micro streams, and it's been a really good experience streaming on TradingView. I like it. It's what we all use too. It's like very native to us. Anyway, so we do want to see that 219 and further continuation, maybe 296 would be a good profit take on longs. And yeah, we did see 176 hold up with good rejection too, right? Like bulls bought it right back up. Not quite a bullish engulfing, but hopefully we see one now. Bless me. All right. Let's look at Ether. ETH is kind of moving up, right? Really moving up. It looks like we're at a new ATH, and it looks like we're clear for 49.67. That is the next extension, right? We can try to find some other fibs, but based on what this chart did, right? The extension I'm running is from the 2018 all-time high, or 2018 high, to the bear market low. All right, and it has proven valid in a sense of we saw resistance, right? Whoa, why is it stuck? We saw resistance up here, right? We saw support. We saw resistance, support, right? Resistance. So logically, now that we're extending above the previous all-time high, I think 49.67 should be the next target, and then maybe 5800, 5801. Thanks, Delilah. Let's look at your chart one, and I'll cover indices afterwards. I want to see what else can happen on Ether. I think I can eyeball a harmonic. I'm just going to switch exchange charts to remove all drawings without impacting anything that I've annotated. So yeah, we're seeing the harmonic scanners putting up some formations. I want to see the deep 61.8, where that's headed. It's not quite valid because it's coming off this low and not that low, but they're in line with each other. That'll put us at like 5,800. So yeah, I think we can push up. In terms of like shorter term, what do we see? Yeah, we're just right above that. Where's the next 1.2, which could be like a rejection zone, and it's at 5K. So yeah, I think we're clear for 4,800 on Ether. Let's look at Harmony, which is like 1 USD. We'll do the tethers. Well, 1 USDT is at 33 cents. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run like a major extension and see where we are, right? So it's basically at resistance. It is at resistance. And it's kind of why fibs are my favorite tool, because they do act like a magnet, right? We see resistance, we see support, we see support, we see support, resistance, right? Good wicks here, and then a continuation up. Now we're seeing a bit of a rejection at 32, right? 32 cents. So I'd want to see what happens here because it's kind of getting a little bit of a parabolic curve. I don't know how sustainable this move is, but if this does keep raging, right, we could get a 53 cents. All right, I'm gonna hop into indices, right, and cover the ES, S&P. We did open up VIX positions for about 30 minutes today, close them right out, right, like unshortable. I'm gonna go ahead and like stop resisting, stop trying to get the urge to like play a counter move. But I mean, it was at a 61.8, so it was, I don't know why it happened. It was justified. It looked good until the chart broke above. I think ES pushing up to 463 now that we're out of this correction. It just seems to be the next logical extension point, right? And this is running off, I think this is the COVID move. It's not. This is the election range breakout. Yeah, pre-election, right? Pre-election dump, pre-election high, and we get that extension. In terms of other extensions, other than 463, what do I see? Geez, a big move to 538. So yeah, I think 463 is the next logical resistance. So we'll revisit that then. Let me pull up ES and see what futures are showing. They tend to be more continuous. I'm getting resistance at futures, but I'm not gonna want to short a high, right? Like I'm not gonna try to short a high. What I'm gonna look for the next pullback, just like what we did back here, right, is like an intraday 61.8, something like we saw today that ended up not working in favor, and that's why we closed out. Something like this, an intraday move that rejects it at 61.8, and then we can just short then and walk away. That would be my entry. I requested to stream, but it's been 3 weeks, nothing. How are you accepted to stream? Trade gang. I don't know, man. We've got a pretty good relationship with TradingView. We do. Yeah. I don't know, like how long you've had your account. Don't know. So, I see you guys trying to get up on that TradingView live stream. They get pretty intense. All right, let's cover QQQ. NQ is breaking resistances, right? I haven't had a QQQ short in a while. We keep pulling out, right? The last set of longs we took, they expire in a month, and we bought calls like over here, 370. So if you're still holding those, like $14 in the money, it's pretty good, and they expire today. So I'm not gonna be chasing all-time highs, right? I'm not gonna be chasing all-time highs. I'm just going to wait for an opportune moment to strike, or maybe wait for a dip. I just don't like buying premium. I know the Russell, right, the small caps like IWM, I'd like to see some kind of move here because this thing's been in a range for almost a year now. We're above the 61.8. I do have some TNA calls, which is the Russell 3X. And I think it's setting up for a breakout at some point. We're seeing the 61.8 hold at 224 on the IWM, right? So we want to see a continuation, probably like 241. I don't know how much lagging they're going to... I don't know how lagging they're going to be. You guys throwing me off with the TradingView questions, TradingView stream. Just if you... Yeah. All right. What else you guys want me to cover? I'm going to talk about Zillow. Let's signal that during the stream, the continuation play. We already had a long, which I tweeted about. During the sell-off, right, we got in a 92 calls a couple of weeks out. And then once we got in the money, I said, hey, let's roll them over in a 100 calls further out with just the profits, right? We're at 98, so we're $2 from the money, and now we're targeting 107, 109, right? And I'm taking that off several factors, and some of them being MA, some of them being fibs. You're just gonna try to trade the bigger move, and it's looking like it was a falling wedge and a descending broadening wedge breaking out at the same time. So I feel like Zillow, we should get a good continuation out of this. We did have a pullback to the 50 MA here. I'll pop up some moving averages, get things going. Vice President, thanks for how do I plan on trading price after ATH? Just running extensions, man. That's what we do. Just running fib extensions. Long tail fib extension, look for a 61.8, and once you find that 61.8, you had your short, right? That's what we did last ATH. That's how I plan on doing all of them. Where's that 50 MA? Let me put that back on. I'll talk about it. I can go back to BTC and expectations. So do you think the next move is going to be like 107, 109 on Zillow? So I'm just going to hold the calls we have since we're $2 from the money and let them run. 4-minute analysis, price discovery, uptrend. So you guys, I'm loving the price discovery to the upside. I kind of preach this all day. My fibs are my practice, right? And I mean, I could pull up Discord and showcase what happened up here, right? We already had a target at 64, right? We didn't short it, but once I signaled the short on BTC, and we got in shorts on this 61.8 from the initial pullback, right? I didn't short here. I did take some profit though. And then once we did this initial pullback and we saw rejection here, we shorted it, got stopped the first time, shorted again, was persistent. We had the breakdown. So the idea is I want to find a 61.8 before I try like a big short, right? And the formula for price discovery to the upside is fib extensions, my friends. And if you want to screenshot this, these are the targets, right? These are the targets. And we can like go to BLX so I can show you guys some really cool stuff on how to run these. And you go back in time and you run your extensions, right? And I could get rid of this one. So once you get intimate with the fib tool, right, and you place it on a range, right, so you got your high, your low, you zoom out, and then you get all your targets. And yeah, you see resistance, right, support, resistance, support, little breakdown here, liquidity move, and then the top, the 18,532. That's the formula. All right, looking at, you guys show me some tickers, and we'll cover them. Look at Mana USD. Coinbase chart. I don't think it's got enough data. Jeez, Mana with a nice candle. Nice. Nice. Let's look at like the, let's look at the Binance chart. Way more data. Above the 61.8 looks exciting. Well, it's actually finding it blew off past the 61.8, but we're not getting that close yet. How I would look at Mana right now, it just needs to stay above 1.16, right? And as long as it does, then we can expect continuation to further upside. A good entry on Mana would be like that retest of 1.16, or another idea would be to look for a minor 61.8 retracement, right? And something like that would look like just like what BTC did the other day. So I mean, right now looking at like 1.22, right, and there's that 1.16. If we see good support here, it could be a good entry because it did pull back to 61.8 of the last move, and the last move being a continuation swing low and last swing high, right? And a 61.8 retracement of that move is right now 1.227. Mimic XRP, please. I'm taking requests from TradingView. You guys smash those like buttons for me. NIMIQ. Let's look at the tether chart. Daily. It looks like a 61.8 right now, and it's just right off my visual. It's not. It's a 50. I think we'll see one 0.011. That's all I have to say on a chart like this. Not intimate with it, don't know much about it. XRP, we talked about Ripple and how it was at a good buy level last stream on Wednesday, and it held up. And I've got an XRP long right now, not as big as I'd like it to be. I should probably add at some point. The reason it looked good is because we had that minor 61.8. We had the closes, right? The closes above, and now we're pulling back. A good thing to watch out for is possible 61.8s for the downside, right? So like a 61.8 bearish retracement. A bearish retracement is a move up before bearish continuation, and we're right at that level right now at 1.08. All right, so needs to get above 1.08, which lines up with the larger Fib, right? The bullish retracement Fib. So when something's retracing back down, it's a bullish retracement. When something's retracing back up towards a high, that's a bearish retracement until it gets above that high, and then it's extending, and then we're in like a bullish extension. So it needs to get above $1.08. XRP does. Let's go back to like a larger term chart, and from all-time high, because if we're above like the all-time high 61.8, we're not even close. You need to get up to 211 and stay above it, right? But in terms of this last move, right, where XRP turned just now, looks super promising. You guys, thank you for all the shows. You guys aren't treating me, smash that like button. Same thing on YouTube. If I'm covering your chart, hook me up with a like. Get those algorithms to rank us up. Been pretty consistent for you guys. All right, BNB looks promising. I think I covered it last time, or Monday. Somebody requested it, and I said, hey, we want to see a move above the 61.8. And it's starting to break above, right? Last time this happened, we had a big rejection wick, right? And we had a pullback. This is the second try. I can't tell you which try is going to work. Actually, third try, because we can look at these as like another attempt. And right now, if you get above 517, then at that point, we can potentially see a continuation. But it's at a critical level. A lot of 61.8s playing out in markets both ways, right? Bullish ones and bearish ones. But with indices being risk on and the majors being risk on, like ETH about to break out, BTC about to break out, right? We could see some easy money. All right, let's look at VET USD. Haven't looked at VeChain in a long time. I think 19 cents is feasible, right? I don't think the retracement's complete before 19 cents. It wouldn't be as efficient. Say 17 or 19 cents. It's going to be pretty hard determining which high we want to use. But in terms of like the latest move, this looks primed for a continuation. We're seeing that bounce, just like what we saw in like TNA, the small cap index IWM. We're seeing that move above the minor 61.8. So at this point, we want to see continuation like 18, 19, 20. Loop ring. LRC. Let's look at the Binance chart. Yeah, Alt plus F equal Fib retracement. Now your Fib's going to look a little different than mine. In a couple of weeks, I'm doing a private event that's going to have like basically everything I know about Fibs, right? If you guys want to get in on that, I'll talk about it as we get closer to it. And I'm going to do another Alt F right now. We're going to talk about that event when you get closer to it. It's going to be behind like a paywall. It's for a private group over here, but if anybody wants to access it, we'll extend y'all. It's going to be in person with a live stream, right? So we're seeing 55 and 54 act as support, right? I mean, act as resistance. And that's just where Fibs are right now. I wouldn't buy into this pump. But ideally, we want to see 60, 63 turn into support. And at that point, it would have broken like most daily pivots, and then we can get upwards continuation I want to talk about a chart that we're playing, and it's Luna. One of my private banker friends bought BTFD'd on Luna during that dump a month ago, and when she did, it brought it to my attention, and we've kind of been focusing a little bit more on it. Pull that up shortly. You guys like my Ether mug? Oh, smash that like button so TradingView sends me a TradingView mug. Alright. Luna USD. I'm gonna pull up SDUSDT, Binance. We're getting a nice breakout. We did buy in on that retracement on the sell-off, which is beautiful. I'm gonna run one extension now. Okay, see what I'm talking about? What's the formula to get price discovery to the upside? You see it? Now you're not gonna have all these fib levels standard. I think you're gonna have like the next 4. That's kind of why I hide my levels and only show price. These are, I calculated these with an old associate back in 2018. These bubble fib levels. I think it's like the last 4 or 5 even. Pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. All right, what's going on with Luna now? We ran out of targets on the initial extension, but we do have another one right here that we can run targets off of. And the reason I like this long is because it seems incomplete, right? Our next target's going to be 53. And if we go into blow-off mode, upwards price discovery, we're looking for 72, 83, and so forth. Just bullish continuation. What else are we trading? What do you guys want me to check out? Show me some tickers. I see some new faces on TradingView. You guys smash that like button. Show me some tickers. I'm gonna look behind me, get some ideas of charts I want to cover from my setup, and what you guys think of what you want me to cover. SpaceX looks good. eBay, Raven. Let's do eBay, SpaceX, Raven. All right, so Raven looked really good on the dip yesterday. I should have signaled a spot entry. You can do the Bittrex chart on this one. And it looked like a good buy, right? We know, like, fundamentally, we're going to see a lot of Ether miners flip to Raven when Ether goes pure POS. And look at this wick, beautiful wick off 99. I actually texted a friend, say, hey, like, you should buy Raven because they have no exposure. You guys been in my Discord, like, that's one of my big holdings. And at this point, if we get continuation off here and a breakout, if this was a liquidity move, I'm targeting 19 cents on Raven for now. Taking tails off the YouTube stream. I'm gonna look at LCX for you, and then I'm gonna cover some of the stocks we're playing. We got a few open plays. Looking at LCX USD, no chart. It's going on Coinbase though. Sushi Swap, man. Jeez, talk about volatility. What is this? I tend to stay away from these swap coins. In terms of big picture, right? You want to see it get above 663,893. I'm not even looking at SHIB. I'm not. I stay away from hype. Not even going to trade it. You know what? We'll look at it, see if there's a short entry. But this chart right here, you need to see it pop up above and close above 66, or else it's just, it's not ready. You can see another down move. Okay, let's look at SHIB. I'm only doing it to try to find a short. I don't trade hype. I don't chase that shit. And to find a short, we just have to find a 61.8. It looks like it's almost right. It looks like we missed the short. I don't think we did. If you get another up candle, I'm shorting. Yeah, this was, we missed the exit. I mean, I'm thinking this was the top, right? Thinking this was the top for now. Because it is a classic 61.8 bearish retracement. It's kind of doing this bear flag. I can draw better than that. I'm a better artist. It's kind of bear flagging. I'd be surprised if it gets back up here. I mean, just because it's like a pure hype pump and dump. I'd like to find a smaller 61.8 that I can short. 15. Give me a 5-minute move. I don't have a 5-minute move. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. This won't even let me place alerts. I don't know why. It keeps... It did. Fantastic. Yes. Alright, so if it gets up here, I'm probably going to want to short it. I want to see what happens at this trend line. If not, I'll find the next one. I mean, you guys know I shorted like Doge and a few things post bubble, so I'll make these moves. Anchor has been trading sideways, looking for a long time, wondering if it's ready to jump soon. Let's look at AXS. You guys on the tube, man, y'all are showing me way more love than TradingView with the chart requests. TradingView, you're slacking, guys. AXS, USD, Coinbase. Oh, this is pumping. Jeez. It's like hard to even fib it. It's moving so much. Oh, 170, right? I see 170 as the next target. 158. I mean, I'm not going to chase something like that, but I think 170, some more targets if you want to screenshot that. Them bubble fibs. I don't think it's going to get all the way up there, but 170 seems like the next logical move. Yeah. Anchor. Just because something's lagging, you know, doesn't mean it's gonna go, right? I like this set of fibs. I do. It kind of lines up with the last all-time high. We had rejection there 3 times. We had support, like liquidity below, but good support, good candles off of them, right? The good push off here. What did this do just recently? Is that that's a 7? That's sub 786. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. It seems to be like just stuck in a range, right? And sometimes assets do that. Like ADA was in the longest range. ADA, USD. And it broke down. I said, you know, it's close to like an area that I'd want to buy in at, which was like 1.8. Didn't quite get that low. I'm not going to chase it. I still don't think they have a working product, right? And yeah, I want to see 1.82, especially since we're below. This is the 50% retracement level, right? This is the 61.8. I want to see a real visit to 61.8. Thanks, Vice Prez. So, yeah, you guys have any other tickers you want me to cover? I'm gonna go back to indices and just kind of run some harmonics on them. If you want me to run a harmonics scan on any asset, just let me know. We can do that using our scanner built in a TradingView itself. If you haven't tried it, if you want to try it, there's a free trial. Just kind of follow directions on our scripts page. So go to my account, click on scripts, and you'll see our indicators. We're actually seeing our harmonic pattern right now, a few of them. I'm going to get rid of this 4 point on the 9, 4 point on the 13, right? But I mean, we're so close to resistance. I'm still going to look for a minor 61.8 to short. and it would kind of look like this one, right? I want to see a move down, a 61.8 failed pullback, and that would be like shorted, right? So that's what I want to look for at this point. Anthony Cox, yes I can. KDA BKKT. I'm just still taking tickers from the YouTube stream. You guys on TradingView, I know you want me to look at some charts. I don't know if you want me to look at the I'm guessing the crypto. This looks like a good consolidation, man. Looks like it's above the 61.8. No, it's below. So what I did is I placed a short-term fib on what's going on. Now I'm going to place a long-term fib to see if you're getting pivots off there, right? Where like a next low would be and where resistance is. Pretty obvious what's going on, right? I mean, it's basically stuck between 6.2 and 7.2. And whether we get continuation to 11 or not, or if we get continuation up, it's going to 11. And to get continuation up, it's going to have to clear the 61.8 bearish retracement zone where it's rejected a few times, right? Slightly above. But we want to see that 711 get taken out, and then you get your minor extensions would be $9, and then next target would be 11. Coolly, I can do that. I'm not much of a scalper, but I can definitely pull them up. KDA USDT just covered that. BKKT backed trading on New York Stock Exchange. Tight. Well, look at that. I think the next move for backed is 42, right? If I was to buy calls, I'd buy like 42 calls, depending what they're priced at. We should see a kind of a bearish retracement, and I'd probably start, or maybe I'd buy 38, profit take half here, and if it gets above, sell the rest of 42, and then wait for a continuation. That's how I trade it with options. All right, let's look at something, let's look at like ETH USD. Sometimes, I mean, you guys, scalps are good, but like if you're in an uptrend, it's going to be dangerous, like shorting just based on Harmonics, right? Unless you're really going to like profit take right away. So, you'll get formations, right, on basically almost every time frame. Let's see if there's something in play right now on like a 15. So the Harmonics, what you want to do is I'm going to scoot my screen over so you can see my settings. Oh, wrong screen. So I'm running the scanner on a 9, 13, 21, and 32 setting, right? And that just determines how many candles get analyzed to get us a formation. And this, when you do this and you run it on various time frames, it's going to pretty much pick out everything, but you do want to scan various time frames, right? So like right before this drop, right, there was a 4-point. It was a 3 drive, a bullish 3 drive, then it broke back down below it for another 4-point. A 4-point is basically an AB equals CD. But with Harmonics, what you want to do is you want to counter trade the potential reversal zone, right? So, I mean, if you were to take along here, when the pattern first develops, you're going to get 2 targets. They're going to be dashed lines. And I'll find one that's developing to kind of show you what's happening. And ideally, and also print your stop. But now that it's already played out in the past, we can only print so many lines on TradingView with PineScript. So we had to, like, it kind of removes the lines, just keeps the formation printed. Then we saw another one here, right? So with the Harmonics, you want to counter trade the reversal zone up. You don't want to trade to the reversal zone. So if something's like coming down to here and you see the formation developing, you don't want to like short down here. You want to wait for the PRZ, get good volume there, right? Get other confirmations, and play it from there. So let's remove drawings. Let's put like BTC. I'm just trying to give you good examples for scalping. I'm not much of a scalper. I like my swings. Right, and the reason I said you only want to trade the reversal zone is because what if the formation doesn't play out? You can't trade an incomplete formation using Harmonics. So if somebody's like, oh, there's a deep crab developing, I'm going to short down. That's not how you trade them. No. The way you trade them... Fuck. Okay, there you go. Sorry. I deleted my annotations on the BTC chart. Don't want to do that. Let me go to another exchange. That's not there. All right, let's go back to that Coinbase. So yeah, the reason you want to counter a trade down here is, and then these are your targets. Would be target 1. This would be target 2, right? Another scalp you could have played would have been this 0.80, right, to the upside, or this 4 point to the downside. All right. Taking some more just trade on my own. What would you recommend to get educated, learn how to trade profitably on TradingView? I'm trading on Bybit at the moment. TA, would you use TA on Phantom if you haven't already? Phantom, the token? FTM. I'll look at that. Joseph, thanks for JSEP87. Thanks for the question. I love it. I'm gonna go over a ticker for Delilah off YouTube, and then we'll hop right back into your chart. MOVR. Delilah, thank you for following us for a long time. I think been a fan and a follower and a subscriber since like 2017, 2018. You always have like good tickers for me to look at. I like it. Thanks for always joining the streams. So we're looking at 399, right? That's the 61.8. Saw the initial rejection there. It looks like it's flying. Remove drawings. What's going on with this minor move? This is what's more interesting to me. It's hard to get this chart to conform. Yeah, I mean, you see that 399, right? You want to see a move above 399. Let's look at FTM, USD. So I don't like trading on Bybit personally, JSEP, because everything's perpetual. So you're going to be paying funding, and it can get really expensive to keep a position open. I'd rather trade on something like FTX, right? I think it's a better exchange. They have a lot more assets too, and you can deposit whatever and leverage it for whatever else you want to leverage. And then it's something like FTM off like Phantom. I'd say if you want to trade profitably, learn Fibs, Fibonacci extensions, retracements, right? So you want to ideally look for swing highs, and here's 2 of them. You want to find a swing high followed by a swing low and run an extension, and then a swing low and a swing high and run a retracement. Yeah, and that kind of gives you, so let's say we were back in like September, right? And FTM's selling off, and it's coming down to $1. Oh, let's not do that. It's coming down to $1, right? And you know how to use this tool that I'm using. And you're like, okay, this could possibly be a support. So you buy like at 97, whatever the fib level is, right? At like 96, and you put your stop below that last wick, and you get to move up. And then, you see more support at 119, and then support at 130. And at that point, like you're in a pretty profitable position, right? At this point, what is this chart doing? I'm just going to extend these lines out further out. And it's kind of stuck below $3, right? And that's like $3.10 and 3.60 are going to be the next two targets. But if it does break down, where are we going to find support? And what we're going to do is just run a bullish retracement. And a bullish retracement happens during a sell-off, right? And we have a swing low and we have a swing high, and you want to see a 61.8 hold, right? So at this point, if I want to trade Phantom to the upside, right, I want to get in at a 61.8 with a stop below the last wick, and I'd want to see it play out to the next target. I think if we get in another risk on cycle, like through end of year, I think we could see some bigger swings play out. Her question was, do you think at this stage in the market, it would be more profitable to do midterm holds rather than short-term trading? But, if we look at, I was talking about this last stream, we saw really, really volatile candles. Like, I had an LTC position, I had a couple of positions on margin, on leverage, and I went out to run some errands. I think it was like here, I got in on like this dip. I go out to run some errands, and I look at my phone, and we're going up, and I'm like, great. And then I come back home, and I'm stopped down. I'm like, what the heck, right? So, it's tricky. If we see a swing unfold now, and I think these volatile moves happen right before a major, like a bigger move in the market. So if we see a swing unfold, I'd want to hold and just wait for further targets. JSEP87, going back to your question and like how I would trade Phantom, FTM, USD, and we're looking at the FTX chart. And, based on this, right, the first target for me would be this bearish retracement, especially if it's going on margin, right? So I'd want to see what happens at 3.23. That would be my T1. And I would use, if I'm long from 2.9, right, I'd take partial profit at 3.22. And if there's continuation further up, I'd let it play out, right? And then next target would be 3.5. I think that about covers everything I wanted to cover. I did want to talk about some stocks. Let's look at I got eBay covered pretty well in previous streams. They're looking like continuation. I'm looking behind me one more time. Actually, I got everything covered. Especially in Discord. I did update like QS. I think SpaceX, I think Virgin Galactic's probably a decent buy right now. It's like holding back like a really low retracement. I think it's a decent buy opportunity, especially if we're going to see upwards moves. I pulled out of the trade yesterday and decided to hop back in today. I can't quite find like a good set of fibs other than this extension, right? Which gives us 1852 as support. So at this point, like my stop's going to be below this last wick on SBCE, right? Other than that, thanks everybody for tuning into the stream. Please smash that like button. If you haven't followed us on TradingView, smash that follow button. Thank you everybody on YouTube for all your chart shills. And yeah, I'll catch you guys back on Monday 12:30 Eastern for a lunchtime market update. You guys have a great weekend. It's Halloween. Stay safe, and catch you Monday. If you want to hop into Discord, get on our website. There's a link there. There's a link on TradingView page. Link within a link within a link, but you'll figure out how to get there. If you follow the stream, you'll figure out how to get to Discord. And once you're in, ask for a guest pass. No